Hey up. Time for a new series, and one that's been heavily requested on my channel over the years. We're going to be looking at the Hard Gore collection. Quite a nostalgic collection for me. This is a series of cult and low budget horror films, spanning from the classics to dreadful nonsense. What we do best on the channel. These were a go-to for me as a kid. They were partnered with Poundland for a while, and the opportunity to buy something gory or extreme for £1 was a bit too good to be true at the time, really. We also used to pick them up from CEX. They were always available in there for a decent-ish price. Definitely, between me and a friend, we owned a good 10 to 12 of these, I'd say. Swapping them amongst each other, chatting about them at school the next day. If memory serves, the quality of these is a little bit better than something like a Scream Time collection or a Dead of Night. Special features, I think they're generally presented okay. Now bear in mind, I haven't watched any of these in a good 10 years, and in an age of Blu-ray and 4K, the cracks might show a little bit more, so don't hold me to that, but I think some of the presentation might be alright. I think it's more an issue of what is on the disc, the film itself, the contents of the film might be where we struggle a little bit with these. I think I've got a complete collection, so let's go have a look, shall we? So what you're seeing here is what I believe to be a complete Hard Gore collection, spanning 51 or 57 or 58, depending on where you stand, films. We'll get into this a little bit more later, but this was easily the hardest set of DVDs I have ever had to buy. Easily spotted by the screaming face on the spine, and nearly all feature a small version of the cover art, usually another bit of face or something. Consistency was not something Hard Gore was striving for here though, with fonts, spine colours and information being all over the place. The spine numbers are a real mess, particularly. There is somewhat of a big run where it seems like they had a system, but that all just sort of crumbles, and again, we'll get into this a little bit more in the next section. But here we are. I am around 85% confident that this is all the films in the Hard Gore collection. So Hard Gore as a company is also just a massive mess. So it was founded in 2002 as a spin-off for Screen Entertainment, and I'm guessing it was just an easy way of dumping all the cheap horror licenses that they'd acquired into just one consistent little catalogue. In 2003, a website was created, and then in the back end of 2003, the website actually put information on it about the Hard Gore series. Now, Screen Entertainment's been going since 1986, so they've been going for a long time. They were putting out cheap licensed VHSs and all this sort of stuff. But to say they were going for so long, I cannot find any information about them online, really, other than they had a few branching off little things. Really elusive sort of company. Something I did notice though, and this might just be conspiracy theory, I don't know. It might be my brain connecting things where there is no connection. But Shameless's website is called Shameless Screen Entertainment. Now, as I said, this might just be a massive coincidence, or maybe Screen Entertainment is in some way affiliated with Shameless. Maybe it turned into Shameless because it was successful for a while. Who knows? Might be nothing. Who knows? So yeah, it looks like they've got a lot of spin-off series, and you can generally see these by looking on the inside of a Hard Gore release where it has all the catalogue printed. It looks like very early on they did a few adult films, Debbie Does Dallas, that sort of thing, I think. And these are spine number 1 to 4. It also looks like they had a spin-off called Extreme Screen. Now, this one's a difficult one though, because there is some sort of overlap with Hard Gore here. This is what I mean, it's just a mess. It looks like they were just trying different things. Hard Gore sort of worked for them, so they stuck with that for a while. So, as I say, the website was created in 03. Then in 06, all the information disappeared. Then in 07, we got a generic title card with a bit of contact information for Screen Entertainment. Then the website, and I believe the company, completely disappeared in 2008. This next bit does involve a little bit of speculation, so do take it with a pinch of salt, but it makes sense to me, and this is kind of what I've found out about everything. So at the start, it was Hard Gore and Screen Entertainment, and they did a run of DVDs with the HG spine numbers, putting out, I'd say, around 21 films, which I have a few of here. They then re-released all these films with the SDVD spines, adding new ones to the collection as they went along. I figured this out because the release date on the back of the cases shows that the HG stuff was like 2002, 2003, whereas the SDVD stuff runs all the way into like 2006. The SDVD spines are the order that I've chosen to adhere to for these releases, as nearly all the films included are under this SDVD banner, and also the majority of my collection is that. I had to figure out what the HG numbers SDVD equivalent was, but it wasn't too difficult with a little bit of sleuthing. Early on in 2003, they partnered with Final Cut Entertainment to release one film, El Chupacabra, and another one which we'll get into a little bit later on. Around 2007, they partnered with Poundland, and also with a company called ILC, where they released a bunch of Harry Novak films and a few others, but the numbering completely changed for that, and I'm guessing it was later on, so I've just sort of shoved them at the end. Then they partnered with a company called Stax for Night of the Living Dead, and then, I guess, they folded. This is why figuring out the spine numbers has been such a pain in the arse. There is no consistency here. So because of all the swapping of partnered companies and all the re-releases, actually pinning down what belongs in this collection was pretty difficult, and it felt impossible for a while. It started okay, you know, Amazon purchases, eBay purchases and searches. It seemed fine. The Wayback Machine helped a fair bit, you know, going on the old website and seeing what they were pushing at the time. Although every now and then they do like to use alternate titles, which did give me a little pang of anxiety every time I saw it, but it's nothing that a quick IMDb search didn't rectify. What else was difficult was finding the films that were actually Hard Gore branded as well. Some of the films were easy to find, but they might have been put under the Shriek collection or other sort of like low budget DVD releases. This was an issue with The Dead of Night as well when I was getting those. But it wasn't too bad in the end, and I had to dodge a few extortionate prices on some of the later releases as well, watch out for that. What really did help as well was the catalogue that's sometimes printed on the inside of the cases, and the Poundland leaflets. It was all going well, and I had what I believed to be a complete collection. Nearly there. There was one more that I was waiting for. After receiving a random copy of Big, with Tom Hanks in the post as well. Don't know where that came from. Just appeared. I thought I was pretty set. One lunchtime though. I'm sat, I'm enjoying my lunch. The postman arrives, a package falls through the door. It's the last film in the collection. It's Demonium. That was the last one I was after. I open it up and I look inside this inconspicuous DVD, and there's a Poundland leaflet, but it's not the Poundland leaflet that I own about 10 times in the other releases. This is a different variant, and on this Poundland leaflet are two films that I had never heard of in my life. So I panicked, got on eBay, and luckily it was just two very quick and cheap purchases. But there's more though. So on one of the Poundland leaflets is adverts for Night of the Living Dead and Cutting Moments, two films that after extensively searching for on eBay, I have not even seen a sniff of. As far as I was concerned, I was adamant, in fact, that these were planned releases, sort of a coming soon, and then they just never got released. So I sort of put them out of my mind for a while. But I'd been wrong before. So I got back on eBay after writing a script one day, and there it was, right in front of me. Night of the Living Dead, Hard Gore. I didn't know what to think. Obviously I bought it as quick as I could, but I'd been wrong twice now. But there's more though, because of course there is. So after the Night of the Living Dead debacle, I didn't trust any of the theories that I'd currently put into place. I'd been wrong twice already now. Who knows what could be missing from this set? So I decided to get a little bit more serious and really start digging deeper. So, with a pile of all the DVDs that I had so far, sat down with a laptop and went on a few various barcode lookup and EAN websites, started typing in the strings of barcodes that I found on the back of the cases. Now, this was a little bit more difficult though, because every time anything slightly changed within the company, the barcode type would change. So, there was quite a few to put in. Straight away as well, I found another DVD that I'd never even heard of, so I bought that as quick as I could, and I did feel like I was going ever so slightly insane. But after countless looking up things, I made a text document and I wrote everything down, including the films that weren't Hard Gore related, just in case. So I've got a little reference as to the numbering and where things come and stuff like that. And I think I can comfortably say now that I have the entire collection. But of course, you didn't think we were finished there, did you? There is more. The last section that I wrote was way over a month ago, and more stuff has been found. So, after the whole Night of the Living Dead and the barcode lookup and finding more, I just couldn't rest with that information. I just had it in the back of my head that there was something that I'm missing. And so I was on eBay still, and I was scrolling through barcode lookup websites. I was dreaming that I'd find a random one in CEX and it'd be like, oh no, I've found more. And I really didn't want to start this series before I was comfortably sat with what I believe to be the complete set. That's why it's been a little while getting to this point. But then I had the idea. I remember putting out a update video in November, and in that video I mentioned that the Hard Gore series is something that I'd be building up towards. So because I'd mentioned it, I thought maybe a subscriber, maybe someone's left a comment just sort of saying a little bit of information that I've overlooked or put to the back of my mind. So I went over to the video, scrolling through the comments, and I got a comment from a subscriber called Silver Chock saying that they could send me some pictures of their case of their Hard Gore version of a film called Cursed. What film called Cursed? I haven't seen a film called Cursed before, so I got to looking. It was on the list, but it wasn't Hard Gore, as far as I was aware anyway, so the subscriber sent me over the pictures, and I'm going to show them to you now. And do you see what the big problem with this is? The branding is only on the inside of the disc. There is no outward branding. So I've scrolled past this on eBay and gone, it's not Hard Gore, doesn't have the screaming head or the Hard Gore banner. How the hell am I supposed to find the last few? So what I did was, I went through the list that I'd made, and luckily I'd made a note of every single thing. I went through all the barcodes again, and I bought every single film that is in some way linked through a barcode or through something like that to the Hard Gore series. So for the next few weeks I was receiving discs in the mail, and I was checking, and some had on the inside, they had the branding, some none at all, and some are a big question mark, and I really don't know about some of these. But I needed to do it, and I think that finally, we've got them all. And I do want to say a big thank you to Silver Chock, because I would not have been able to find these last few without you. So thanks a lot for that. Right, so we've got them all. We must have. So we're going to cut back to the collection now. We're going to calm down a little bit, and we're going to discuss a few more things in more detail. So there we are. That was my nightmare at trying to figure out this company. But I think that I am now ready to start doing these reviews properly. You might be looking at the shelf and wondering about the ordering and how the hell am I going to tackle something that's so messy. So we're going to start out by looking at the Hard Gore branded films. I'm talking a screaming head on the skull, and I'm talking the Hard Gore logo on the top on the front. we're going to talk about all those in some form of spine number order. The numbers will be all over the place, but I am going to try and do it chronologically with the spine number order. Then we're going to get to sort of like the later releases, the ILC stuff, and then after that we're going to take a look at a few that have some sort of a Hard Gore brand to them, but it's not outwardly visible. We're talking inside branding, and we're talking websites that are plastered on some of the discs. The stuff that's a big question mark, basically. But that's the sort of order that we're going to do things in. There are a few that I'm not classing. These are Don't Mess With My Sister, which as far as I can see has no Hard Gore branding on it. It looks like it's just Scream Extreme branding exclusively. Did find these pictures on eBay proving it, which includes pictures of the inside, which is nice. Then there's Trash House, which has no mention of Hard Gore anywhere on the casing. It does have ads for the films Screen Entertainment put out, including some of the Hard Gore stuff, but it doesn't have any Hard Gore branding at all, so I'm not counting that. Then there's The Manual. Again, no Hard Gore branding whatever, and instead it seems to be Screen World branding. And finally, No Cutting Moments. I have searched for this film, and I even own this copy here, and it's just ILC, no Hard Gore. I may do a little section after of these offcuts, maybe give them a little moment to shine, because there is some interesting stuff here. Also, I'm not bothering with the double packs, the cut version of Faces of Death, which takes up its own spine numbering, and the Bloodletting box set, as I'll just be repeating myself because it's the same films we'll have already discussed. So let's lay out some sort of plan, shall we? So from here on, Hard Gore is going to be my main focus, with the AGFA 101 films taking a little bit more of a back seat. I'm doing this, one, for my sanity, and two, for time reasons. Usually the AGFA 101 releases have got 2 features and a bunch of special features. And you know what? It's a little time consuming when I'm trying to make animations, make films, stuff like that. So I'm still going to be doing the AGFA stuff, but Hard Gore is going to be the main focus. Say I manage to get 4 videos out in a month, 1 every week. Expect 3 Hard Gore and 1 AGFA, if that. Something around that. Plus I'm planning on doing just a little bit more with the AGFA stuff. Wanting to make the videos a little bit more. So expect more Hard Gore. As I said, I am 85% sure that this is all of them. Now, if you're sat watching this video and you're seeing that I've missed something, you're like, I've got a Hard Gore DVD on my shelf and it's not in this collection, please let me know. Please let me know. I wouldn't be surprised if I've missed something else, which is why I'm only 85% sure. But let me know and I'll try and rectify the missing disc as soon as I possibly can. But as far as I know, this is it. I'd be very surprised if there was any more. So, let's hope it was all worth it, shall we? Because it's been a nightmare. But I'm looking forward to starting it finally. This is a collection that I've really wanted to sink my teeth into for a while. And we're going to be starting next episode with the first proper review. We're going to be looking at the lowest spine number and the only film, or the first film, sorry, to be done under the Final Cut sub-company. We're looking at El Chupacabra.